if those trails are open all the time, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Because, like, you could bump around back there.
They're definitely open all the time. There was no gates. We didn't come through any gates.
That's true. Because that's the first time I've been down there. We were, pretty close to Charleston at that point.
Yeah, I think we were.
Like 20 minutes away. And, dude, the trail network down there was insane.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the DirtNerds Podcast. We are coming at you with our ASMR tired voices because we are ASMR tired boys. I'm here with Freddie with another spin of the DirtNerds wheel of who the hell's on this week.
Hello.
Freddie and Cole.
Hey.
We are in a new location. How the fuck do you say the name of this town?
Point Pleasant.
No.
Oh, we're in Galapagos.
Galapagos,
Ohio.
Galapagos.
Why the hell are we in Ohio? Because, well, you guys know we've been doing the 24 Hours of Appalachia. We did it. We all stayed up. I guess you guys didn't stay up for 24 hours straight.
No, I was awake for 24 hours.
You did the whole...
No, you napped.
After 6 a.m. It was 24 hours.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Tom did the full... It was damn near 30 hours we were awake.
I think I only napped for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was brutal. We were talking about it at the Mothman Museum where we're taking cool pictures of Freddie's Jeep of like, how the hell do we describe this to people of what the hell we did? I don't know how to do it.
Oh, yeah, we drove through the woods.
Well, I drove across West Virginia in 24 hours. And like, why did it take you so long?
It's only 150 miles. What did you do?
Then you say, well, it's 600 miles off-road. It's like, okay. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you don't go fast off-road.
No. I think when you throw in the mile per hour average, like, we went 600 miles, 24 hours, averaging 23 miles an hour.
Yeah, because my stats are pretty much the same thing as y'all's stats. Let's see what my stats were.
And some people were cooking. And, like, one of the side-by-sides did 37 miles an hour average over a 15-hour period.
Yeah. It was the same.
So they did 605 miles. I think they had a different route just because of some legality reasons.
Side by sides.
So our trail time, we left like 10 minutes before you did. Total time was 26 hours and 38 minutes moving. Oh, no, not moving. That was total time. Moving time was 24 hours and 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Moving time. Stop time was 2 hours and 30 minutes. And then...
and most of that was Davis.
Our average moving speed was 24 miles an hour.
Yeah, our average moving speed was 24 as well.
That's a lot. And I felt like we were cooking, man.
That's slow.
I know, compared to some of the other guys, that average moving speed was 29.5 miles an hour.
Yeah, no, 30 miles an hour on some of those roads. It felt like you were flying.
Well, so I think that our speed, like our overall speeds were the same. They just didn't stop. They stopped for fuel twice, and they never got out of the vehicle, which is wild.
Which I didn't want to do in the beginning. Well, what was your, how did you enjoy the rally?
It was fun as fuck. Dude, I don't know. It was, the Jeep is smelly. I'm smelly. I'm not smelly anymore. But it was just a lot. I don't think I've fully processed it yet.
I think the biggest thing is what we could do differently to improve.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What would you do differently next time?
Nothing. I don't want to go faster.
You like the pace?
I like the pace.
How many times we stopped?
So we stopped a lot for fuel, and we could have stopped less.
Yeah.
But that's because we were riding with people that had different vehicles.
Yes, we had
that had different fuel needs.
A Land Cruiser that was sipping on fuel.
An XJ that couldn't drive past a gas station.
Yeah.
They had to stop and fill up with jerry cans in between stops.
Yeah.
And our stops weren't that far apart, so.
Yeah, I think the longest distance between fuel was the end. It's about 200 miles.
Yeah.
But before that, we were going like 80 miles between fuel stops. And they were still filling up with fuel?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said they were getting 115 maybe to a full tank.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I would do differently is just get fuel less. But, I mean...
I was fine with the amount of times we stopped because, I mean, sitting in the same spot, the same position is brutal.
I liked the sights that we saw and whatnot, and I got the drone out a few times and whatnot. And it was cool just to see.
Yeah, it was fun watching you play with the drone. I can't wait to see all the footage we did. We did take a lot of footage.
I wish I would have done more, but it is what it is.
It's when you're. Well, we say this all the time. When you're in the moment and like doing things, it ruins the moment
Right.
to have to take video and
Not
try
only
and
that,
document
there was
it.
a lot of tree cover. There was a lot of places
I
that
think
it just
the only-
couldn't have lifted off.
The only thing I regret is not filming when we were coming out, but that's because Nate was sick, and it was like, I didn't really want to ask to use the drone while he's
miserable.
puking.
And you guys, 24 hours to here.
Yeah.
So we
We still had 550 miles, so I mean,
Yeah, that's last.
damn near the same.
Yeah, and then the we were an hour and a half longer, 2.5 hours longer.
3.5 hours longer.
26.
And a half.
26.
So 2.5, yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 hours longer to get back here. But
Yeah. But it's what it is.
I mean,
Still had fun. And I was getting to the point to where it was like, I can't go much longer.
hi
PJ
PJ.
just walked in. So Tim, you haven't ventured much into West Virginia. What was your...
West Virginia was a lot. It was cool. It was depressing. It was frightening. Like, you hear about West Virginia being, or like Appalachia being the poorest part of the country, and we saw it. We're like, there's no fucking way someone lives there. You're going past like a truck bed camper in a field with trash around it, and there's a light on inside, and you're like, there's no fucking way someone lives there.
Well, we were on some roads, like just a dirt road. We would be on it for, and distance didn't matter. You could be on a road for 40 minutes and you've only gone 2 miles.
Yeah.
Just the way that the terrain was. So there was roads that we were on for a long time.
And you see tarps.
And you see houses and all kinds of stuff. And it's like,
clapped out double wides.
how do these people get out to get anything?
Do anything.
Like just to buy milk and bread. Like,
Yeah, we're driving on that stuff for fun. They have to do it just for their commute.
If they have a commute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine that most of them don't.
Yeah.
Probably just live off the
land or whatever they can do, or welfare. Someone brings them food or whatever. But we did see all of it. We saw the Canaan Loop.
Yeah, and
That was cool. That was a very affluent part of
we've
West
done
Virginia.
that before.
It seems like
It's a very good loop.
it seems like that's a lot of like snowbirds going up there, like retirement people, like just enjoying the mountain and the ski community up there, which was really cool. It was really pretty. And then we dropped down the Appalachian Mountains, and it was just farm country.
Yeah.
Like it was old Appalachian farm country. It was really cool. But then once we came to New River Gorge, that's when you started to see like the extreme poverty of the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was cool to see all the different weather too. I mean, we saw everything from dirt, gravel, mud, the mud holes, to snow, ice.
Everything.
Like
Luckily the physical weather was nice. It didn't rain.
Yeah.
It was 50 during the day. The night was down in the 30s, and there was black ice on the ground. But yeah, we hit. I mean, he chose water crossings after water crossings after water crossings.
The end was really awesome.
Yeah.
And then the one road we were
Well,
on.
you didn't experience the very end. So when we were coming up, I think it's 2 that comes into Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
He chose a route that cuts off. Like you're like, I'm spitting distance. I can see the Mothman, like the statue, and you're like, you cut off. He added 30 minutes going with 3 stream crossings at the very end. You're like, oh, I'm gonna kill this man because
We're so close.
You've been in the vehicle for 20 hours, 26 hours at that time, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, the one road we were on is literally not open right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not traversed by anybody because it's basically just a road to a national forest.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some seasonal roads that were closed this time of year.
Yeah, so we were able. Jed was able to get them open in we were able to ride on them.
Yeah, the amount of access that he was able to get through his connections
we noticed several gates too that were like
open.
These gates are always closed.
Well, then if you looked on Onyx or Gaia, whichever you're using, you could see the dates that they were open. You're like, oh shit, these are closed this time of year. These are usually closed. That's why these tracks are so fresh, because there've been 75 people on here, but it's all been today.
Yeah.
And the gates are getting closed after today.
And to backtrack on what I would do differently, I would take a toll of how many waterfalls and how many churches we saw.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
So many churches.
It was 20 plus waterfalls, and I want to say like 50 churches.
No,
more than
100
that.
churches.
There was 100 churches.
You think?
There was
churches.
2 or 3 churches per small town.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that were still standing. You
Right.
could see burnt down churches. You could see dilapidated churches. Those were church in the really creepy town that we drove through that you took a poop in.
Oh, Thurmond?
Thurmond. Yeah.
Thurmond.
I pooped at a bus depot, everybody.
Did you get inside?
So the bus depot had a bathroom outside.
Nice.
And it was just a hole in the ground, but it was a covered toilet with toilet paper.
I pooped in a hole in Thurmond.
Yes.
That could be a sticker.
That's a sticker.
That is a sticker. But their church was the nicest thing in the town, and there was
Well, the bus depot was really nice too. It was like a museum
but there was
as well.
3 mailboxes. There was the mailbox stand, like where the mailman delivers all the mail, and there was 3 active mailboxes. The church was beautiful. There was a bus depot. There was a train station.
A 1-lane bridge with a railroad.
With a railroad. Could you imagine being on that with a train going over there? Freddie would lose his mind. He would love it. I would shit my pants.
Trains.
Yeah, and I think that kind of hits on Jed's point of bringing people to the rural areas.
Yeah.
And seeing this side of things.
Well, yeah, and it is beautiful country. This is literally a land untouched by time.
It's
like
wild.
Like around Thurmond, those trees that have been there for hundreds of years, untouched by nature. Those rock faces, those rock walls,
the cutaways.
Me and Tom were talking about it, like how that, like, it's amazing. You see it in the Grand Canyon, you're like, that's pretty cool. It's Grand Canyon. It's right here. The New River Gorge is cut by water, and it's like a stone wall. It looks like an assembled stone wall because it's just rock on top of rock with it looks like grout in the middle.
I'd really like to come back and do the route as a trip.
Yes, and the whole thing in daylight.
Yes, like travel 170 miles and camp.
Yeah.
Hang out, take your time, and then same thing the next day. Just kind of hit the points during the day because there is so many places.
Well, just even if you backtrack through the route and you look at all of the scenic overlooks that we missed because it was 1 a.m. Or because it was just blasting by or anything, and then stop at every single one.
Well, yeah, and we drove through so many old towns at night that you couldn't really see anything. And like Thurmond seemed creepy, but then when I was talking about that to Jed's wife, he was like, "Oh yeah, Thurmond is beautiful," and I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Well,
she's
a
like,
lot of those
she's like,
towns-
"Just don't drive through it at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
when you're exhausted, and it's actually really cool." I'm
They
like,
lean into the whole historic side of things. and
Yeah.
They put a lot of money into making things look like Hillsboro.
yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people that listen know about Hillsboro, and that's kind of about how big Thurmond was.
tell me about Hillsboro. I don't know about.
You don't know Hillsboro? Virginia?
Oh, Hillsboro, Virginia. Yeah, okay. Sorry, because we also went through Hillsboro, West Virginia. Hillsboro
I don't
was
think I paid attention to that.
yeah, Hillsboro was on the map in West Virginia.
But just small towns, like you blink and you're gonna miss them.
Yeah.
And they lean in, like Hillsboro's really leaned into the historic side of things, and they restore things to look like they were.
Look correct.
Yeah, it was really creepy walking to the bathroom. It was also like a train museum, and they had like one.
So you were losing your mind.
Dude,
You're like, this
no.
is so cool.
Trains.
I was just in poop mode.
That's the clip.
That's the clip.
Freddie was in poop mode in Thurmond, West Virginia.
I was walking along the sidewalk, and I looked to my left, and in a window, there's just a man sitting at a desk, lights off. I'm like,
Like a live man?
Well, I thought it was a live man.
Well, I thought the guy at the Mothman Museum was alive too.
So then I'm sitting there pooping, and I'm like, dude,
There's somebody watching me.
There's somebody watching me poop. But then I walked back through, and then that's when I realized it was a museum.
Post-poop
and it was
clarity.
It was a mannequin set up as a desk, as if he was a train switcher or whatever.
Okay.
Because he was like sitting in front of a bunch of like panels. So that's when I was like, oh well, this has to be like a museum. And they have like little things here and there.
Yeah, and that's what Jed was saying too. Is that's a big, or it was a big railroad station area.
It's the same way with the Gap Trail that runs up to Pittsburgh and the CNO. They all have like all the train stations have these little gimmicks and model trains and stuff. Just because not as many people use the train.
No, I've never. I don't think other than like at amusement parks, I've never ridden a train for transportation.
I really want to do a train trip.
We should. Well, we have so many trips we want to do. Like last time we saw Jed, we talked about a distillery tour, like a Virginia distillery tour, or West Virginia distillery tour.
Yeah.
Of like camping, wheeling, going to distilleries, camping, wheeling, like do a whole weekend of distillery tours. That'd be so much fun.
Or the Appalachian 1000 that we were talking about. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we were messing around with the idea of doing the same thing we did this weekend, but using Class 11 cars.
Yeah. Or gambler cars.
But Class 11, could you imagine in Volkswagen Bugs? Just bombing these in Volkswagen Bugs, rear-wheel drive.
Dude, I know the Subaru guys had a blast.
All the Subaru guys finished under 24 hours.
Yeah.
All of them finished first off.
They were like, and my one buddy, John, on Monday, his car was a shell. It didn't have an engine, a trans, suspension, anything. And he hustled and got that thing together. And I welded a steering shaft extension for him because he lowered the subframe to be able to handle like the offset of the lift
and
versus
the bigger tire,
where the control arms were and everything. And he's like, can we weld an extension piece on this? I was like, well, I don't have any pipe that's big enough. He's like, we'll figure something out. So he brings it over, cut it in the bandsaw, grab a socket off the wall. A 15 millimeter socket fit perfectly over the shaft.
Nice.
Cut it in half. He took it home, mocked it up, marked it, brought it back. We welded it up.
That's awesome.
He has a hammer as the transmission pitch mount. So like on Subarus, they have a transmission mount that comes basically straight up and then attached to the firewall. Like kind of keeps the pitch of everything. And he cut a fiberglass hammer head off. Drilled the holes as he was like pitching the transmission.
It's just like a regular like hammerhead.
Yeah,
wild.
So it's the yellow hammer handle, like fiberglass, with 2 holes drilled in it for the mounting positions.
There was a lot of vehicles that extra we were rolling with. We're doing recovery. They just put a new motor in it this week.
Oh well, the guy with the Comanche, he just put a head on it the night before.
Dude, I felt unprepared because I'm like, I don't know my maps. I don't know where we're getting fuel. I don't know what we're doing.
Those people didn't even have running rigs.
They didn't have running rigs. They didn't even consider what the route was. They were just like, well, we're going to go wing it. I couldn't imagine. Like,
that's a little
wild.
too much for me.
That is. And then, like, just the people that didn't pre-plan fuel, like, didn't even think about fuel.
Yeah, I mean, you had a pretty good general idea, and it still kind of was by ear, but like you knew where all the fuels were.
Yeah.
What was open, what wasn't open.
But he also sent the map out on Thursday.
Yeah.
So it gave you an extra 2 days to plan all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it may have just been the people that we ran across, because the people that like finished quickly, they did all the pre-planning. Yeah. They had all their maps done.
Well, there was one guy. He had 4 race cans full of fuel.
Probably didn't have to stop at all.
Yeah. I don't remember if he was driving a Toyota, but he drove by us in the staging area. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, 4 full cans of fuel. So, I mean, in theory, if he got 15 to 16 miles a gallon, had a 16, 18-gallon tank, that's a 4-stop run.
It's not even a 4-stop run. That's
yeah.
It's like a 1-stop run.
No.
Because we could have done that in 2 stops. We did 200 miles from New River Gorge to here, 200 miles on one tank of fuel. That's and true. My gas light didn't turn on until we were going to the reception.
That's when mine turned on as well. That's funny. Yeah. How big's your tank? Is it the same as mine?
16 and a half, 17.
Must get better fuel mileage.
It's less doors. Less weight.
Okay, here we go. 2 doors are better.
Less tire.
Less tire. Lots of less tire. Yeah. Less gear. I mean, I'm technically stock. My JK is less than a stock Rubicon. Yeah. It's got 33s. It's no lockers. It's got 2.5 inches of lift.
But you didn't have any issues. None. I mean, we really only ran into probably 3 pretty technical spots. Lots of mud.
The mud was also wrong because we weren't supposed to go up there.
We got turned around and followed
but the beginning of it was still right.
The Subarus did that. A lot of the Subarus went up that area too and got stuck and turned around.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just because you had to turn your hubs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there was not too much that was like wacky or wonky. It was good trails. It was technical trails, but it wasn't hard trails.
No, like you're not sweating after running half a mile on a trail like you are at the Cove.
Yeah.
Because you go to the Cove and you hit certain trails, you're working it.
Well, and what it really proves is driver mod.
Yeah.
Is you can do anything with a good driver. And all these, like...
I'd like to know the 7 vehicles that didn't finish.
Aren't you one of them?
No. We finished. We just didn't.
Oh, yeah, because he also gave the bailout there, too. Yeah. So at the end, you had the bailout from where we were to just jump on the highway and come through.
I texted him. I was like, hey...
I'm taking the bailout.
Got a co-driver sick. It's like, we're here. We're just going to hightail to Point Pleasant. He's like,
so
all good.
You got the 24 hours. He gave you the 24 hours in one... You son of a bitch.
Yeah, 24 hours and 1 second.
In 1 second, okay.
That's what my guy says.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay.
It worked out. It worked out pretty good because I really took my time coming through that last little section.
Well, we were with you up until we thought you took a wrong turn.
I did.
So you ended up following us back down there?
I never caught back up.
Okay.
But we went the same way out.
Okay.
When we got to all the right after most of the stream crossings.
That was a wild area too because that was fracking. That was active fracking.
What do you mean?
Those fields at the end.
All the yellow pumps and stuff.
Okay.
That was active fracking. They come in, they crack the ground with water, and they just pull out natural gas.
Do you think that if those trails are open all the time, that's incredible?
Yeah.
Because you could bump around back there.
They're definitely open all the time. There was no gates.
We
didn't come through any gates.
That's true. Because that's the first time I've been down there. We were, pretty close to Charleston at that point.
Yeah, I think we were.
20 minutes away. And, dude, the trail network down there was insane.
It'd be super easy to get lost.
It'd be super easy to get lost. It'd be super easy to spend 10 hours just bumping around on some back roads.
And the other thing that we noticed is after we left you guys at the highway, I guess.
Yeah, we stopped at that little town,
Clendenin.
We got some Dramamine for Nate.
But it was us, the XJ, and the Gladiator. And we didn't get second looks. People must go mudding and wheeling back there all the time because 3 decently equipped, well-built rigs, and in three well-built rigs and a 2-door, or 2 well-built rigs and a 2-door, didn't get a second look.
Jesus, can you count?
No, I can't, dude. I'm still exhausted. So
yeah, you could tell that all of those were well used.
Yeah, but the locals didn't
even bat an eye.
Didn't bat an eye. Nothing.
Well,
just
and
regular
down here
traffic.
Too, side-by-sides and
because side-by-sides are illegal in West Virginia.
Every driveway had a Jeep, a side-by-side, an old truck, a Toyota. So it's very prevalent down here.
Is that what you're taking away? Is that there's a lot more here than you realized for wheeling?
Oh yeah, because we grew up near Davis, and we'd been up to Canaan Valley and done those loops.
That was a good loop.
And a couple other spots around there that we had hit up, but there's always gates, and the one place we used to hit up is always closed now.
So I have no real bearing on how... I know we're 6 hours away from home right now. I've no bearing on how far we are from where we started. Like, just as like a highway vehicle.
Oh, it's 150 miles.
Yeah, it's not far.
Oh, so it's like
it's a 2-hour drive.
We literally took the most inconvenient trip in the world. If you
if you look at the route, there's sections where we just make a right turn for no reason.
Yeah.
And then drive for 40 minutes to end up 2 minutes down the road.
Oh yeah, I realized that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, I have no bearing on like how far New River Gorge is from Seneca Rocks. Like, that's probably also like 2.5 hours.
Well, you guys did it, right, PJ? It was 2 hours from...
Yeah.
From Fatesville, it's 2 hours to Point Pleasant.
Okay, so
that's from where we are now back to where we started.
Wild.
226 miles.
So
3 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, 3 hours and 50 minutes, 4 hours. It was... So yeah, it's really not far. So you could... It's not... So for me, a day trip is an hour and a half from home. So it's a good weekend wheeling. From anywhere in West Virginia, you have a great weekend of wheeling, and you can do...
Even Virginia, we were looking at... So then the summer run is going to be in... Which... We're not allowed to talk about that?
No, I'm talking about that.
Okay.
Yeah, the summer route is going to be brutal.
But on that, like, even if you're in Virginia, you can bump on over into West Virginia and find trails that are 40 minutes from you.
Well, so when we did our podcast with him, he mentioned that it was West Virginia is 6 hours from 60% of the population of the United States. So yeah, it's a day trip for a weekend of fun, and then a day drive home. And really, the expansive wilderness was amazing. Like, and we touched a third, not even a third, 3% maybe of the trails.
There was a bunch of trails that we were riding
not
on.
a third.
And
words are hard.
You'd see another trail, and it's like, fuck, I want to go do that one.
Yeah,
it'd be like a hill climb or a descent or whatever. But
yeah, we were on a mission. We couldn't deviate.
Right.
I mean, we could deviate. We would have just gotten the worst path.
Right.
Which wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The worst nav was like 610 miles.
Yeah. 610.
That was John.
Something like that.
Yeah. That was John?
Yeah. And he still finished in like 22 hours.
Yeah, that was impressive. I'm like, what, 610? Because we missed a lot of turns. We backtracked a lot. We drove 5 miles trying to head to Davis to go get burritos, and we're like, no, we should just come.
That was an epic fail.
Yeah, it was an epic fail. But yeah, we drove up. We passed Canaan Loop. I mean, we like 5 miles.
Then turned around
and came back.
Yeah, because
we were still dead nuts with the map. Like, I was 585 miles, dead nuts. And I don't know how. I don't know how. Maybe it was 580. Maybe it was supposed to be 583, and that's where that extra few miles came from. But like, I don't know. I don't know how they got an extra 30 miles.
Well, I don't know if yours did, but every once in a while, my guy would be like, map, and it would like, I'd be driving along, and then all of a sudden it would veer.
Oh no, mine didn't do that.
Like sharply off.
Like you could tell that it was just from a point A to a point B. Okay. It was a straight line. It was like, you're here now, and now you're here. And it
had to like load and think and do stuff. I did have issues with my guy because I was talking to, I forget his name, the guy in the Gladiator. We called him Fake Dave the whole time because we didn't know his name. He seemed like a Dave.
Yeah.
So it was like, we knew his name wasn't Dave, so we called him Fake Dave.
So.
Yeah, Fake Dave. What's up?
What's your real name?
I met you today. I'm horrible with names. It took me a second to remember Cole's name. I rode with him all weekend. Yeah, Fake Dave was talking to me because he's like a super nerd about maps and radios and stuff.
And he doesn't have every radio known to man.
Doesn't have every radio. He does have a few.
We were along somewhere and we were riding with a group of like 10, and he listened to the podcast and gave Tim a bunch of shit because he said, I don't have every radio known to man, but I do have a few.
Yeah. But he pointed out that the reason that our guys were having such an issue with CarPlay is because Guy uses so much battery.
I noticed that
my phone was like physically hot to the touch almost the whole trip. I had to turn the AC on the windshield to keep my phone cool.
See,
so my maps would stay up to date. And
mine didn't do that, but my Gaia would like. It was almost like it was bringing in too much information, and the screen would like pixelate.
Oh,
it was really weird.
Yeah, I got it figured out because I could just disconnect from CarPlay and it would work fine. Like I could just hold it in my hand, and like if Tom was driving, I could just hold it in my hand, like, hey, you got to turn.
But it was nice to have it on
the CarPlay,
my dash. Yeah, and then we tried to do it on Nate's iPad, but it wouldn't pick up GPS.
Yeah.
And he even downloaded the offline map and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I had no issues with mapping other than CarPlay.
Yeah, same. And then there's probably 2 spots that turns were so close that it was very hard to differentiate.
Yeah.
Where it went.
There was one at the very end. I was with the Toyota group, so Me and Fake Dave were making great time. Sorry, Fake Dave. I do not remember your name. Me and Fake Dave were making great time. He was in front, and he blew the turn. He completely missed it, and I honked the horn. Tom called him on the radio. He was turning around. We knew he was turning around. He called us. I kept jamming because I was jamming. The Toyotas came up behind me, and I started jamming with the Toyotas for, I don't know, 10, 15 miles. And there was a turn that was ridiculous. It was the only turn in the whole place that I had to do a 2-point or 3-point turn.
No way.
In the 2-door. It was tight. It was literally 180 degrees, like this.
Just straight back.
Straight back. And it was single track to single track. Yeah, I'm excited to see how the media turns out.
Yeah, especially the other 2 guys. Those guys had some setups, man. Some
Sam
cameras.
and Caleb? Yeah, Carl. Sorry, Carl. I have 2 of your cards. Sam and Carl. I gave one card to Freddie.
Carl,
they're
that kills
I'm
people.
I'm excited to see how all their stuff turns out too.
They had some crazy, like, filming setups.
Yeah,
like gimbals, and they're using road flares as night lighting.
We didn't come across. I guess they were probably just doing the front of the pack. They were sticking with the people up front running the fast times.
And then we also went through that like gate that they had hung up. Did you see that?
The gate that they had hung up.
It's like Saturdays are for the boys.
They didn't hang that up.
That was the gambler guys, right?
Mm-mm. So we were talking to Fake Dave. Fake Dave pointed this out. So that was a ham operator in the area that lived in Thurmond, not
Thurmond.
Dude, I don't know what the hell's going on. So it was a ham operator that lives in Thurmond. That was his way of celebrating the rally. That was the creepiest thing of part of the whole rally. I thought we were gonna run into a couch in the middle of the.
I don't remember
thing.
that.
You know, I was driving.
Okay, was I asleep?
You were not asleep.
So, yeah, I thought that was a bunch of.
We saw a few creepy things.
Well, the Yeti. Did you see the Yeti?
The mailbox Yeti.
Yeah,
dude.
With the creepy ass face.
Yes. So we're coming up on this dark dirt road, and
dark dirt road
I'm
with
in the
like
passenger
creepy
seat,
trees,
and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And we get up on it, and it's a carved Yeti holding the mailbox.
Yeah, it's plywood.
No, it was a bear.
There was a white bear. So Yeti.
No, it was a bear.
No, it was a Yeti. It was 100% a Yeti.
Was it?
Yeah.
I could have swore it was a bear.
Dude, and then did you realize how many Great Pyrenees we saw?
Dude, I woke up to one in the middle of the road. And I was like, the fuck was that?
West Virginia is filled with Great Pyrenees.
And then we saw 2 more?
Yeah.
I think we saw.
And then a small child playing with the dogs right by the road.
Yeah. You were behind us.
Oh, I missed that.
And a kid threw a stick out into the middle of the road.
Oh, yeah, the two black labs.
And the dogs ran out after the stick in the middle of the road.
Dude, we jammed on the brakes.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to kill a dog. Dude, I was frightened.
Terrified.
But yeah, of all the dogs we saw, we probably didn't see that many dogs. We probably saw 10 to 15 dogs. Half of them were Great Pyrenees.
Yeah.
Half of them. I've only seen before in my life. I've only seen one Great Pyrenees, and it was my cousin's service dog.
That's funny.
I saw
and then
like
did you
7,
see,
and they were just free range. Like there's just milling about on these people's farms. Free range dogs. You never heard that before, PJ?
Free range dogs.
We got neighbors with free range dogs. I hate them.
I don't think that's not the term.
No, it's the term.
No.
Yeah.
Off leash.
No, because off leash.
It's just a dog.
So off leash is a dog that's being tended to. Like someone's outside hanging out with the dog. Like they're off leash.
So a free range dog is like a dog that lives outside.
A dog that lives outside of the owner just lets it out to go like be free range, and it comes back when it wants to, and barks at the door, comes inside.
Like a cat.
Yeah, like a cat.
But
it's a free range dog.
It's just a cat. It's not a free range cat.
It's an outside
cat.
Okay, so then it's an outside dog.
But like outside, so my definition of outside dogs is like a dog that maybe has like a dog house, lives in a cage, is in a backyard, is an outside dog.
And a kennel or something.
Yeah.
That's an outside dog.
A free range dog is a dog that is like an outside cat. It just mills about, goes where it wants, comes back to eat.
It knows where home is.
Because it knows where home is.
Exactly.
How does it know how to get home if it's
Never been home before.
How did they know how much fuel they were going to use if they had never used that much fuel?
Did you also see the creepy stump that was painted like a
face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
So that was also in Thurmond.
Was it?
Yes.
Dude, train towns are weird.
Train towns are real weird. So we were following Fake Dave. I'm so sorry, man. I cannot remember your name for the life of me. Following Fake Dave through Thurmond with Yuri behind us.
Yeah, because that's where we split off to use the bathroom.
Dude, I was already freaked out. Literally, a tree branch came up and smacked the window. It was about the size of a hand.
Dude, we had an owl fly right
my God,
in front of me.
Freddie was half asleep. I'm driving. We'll just see this white flash.
And then my dumbass on the radio.
Who?
Did you guys see that owl?
Who?
Dude, Nate was like, it was the Mothman.
It was wild.
It was just this huge white owl out of nowhere.
Like there was a lot of memorable parts. I think Thurmond was the most memorable because it was the most terrifying. It was also like I'm a paranormal. Like I believe in the paranormal. I've never seen anything paranormal. I believe in the paranormal.
You just met
though.
the Mothman, though.
I just met the Mothman, the cryptozoologist.
I still think the most surprising part of the whole trip was how little traffic we came up on.
None.
Like,
I mean, at night, that's obvious.
There was no one else out there.
But during the day, we didn't see any traffic.
It was just us. If we were in a group, it was us.
We saw traffic this morning. We saw it because we were coming back up this way, back towards Point Pleasant. Then we saw a lot of Sunday traffic. Some slow roads.
You bump around on a Loudoun County dirt road, you're going to pass box trucks, moving trucks, people going to work, people coming home.
This is that rural good though.
Yeah, like the rural roads in Loudoun County are nothing compared to these roads.
Yeah, because Loudoun County isn't. I mean, it's rural, but this is rural.
And it was pretty mind blowing to be on a road that was signed and maintained by whoever maintains the roads.
Department of Transportation.
Yeah. I guess DOT would do that, but like you could tell that there were certain roads that were graded and had signage and like this is route whatever.
Yeah.
And speed limit signs, and it was wild. Like
I don't know what else to talk about.
Butts.
Butts are good.
The Mothman double cheeked up.
Caked up.
And then
Point Pleasant. And then
there's 4 other statues that the same guy all designed. They're actually really cool. They're all stainless steel welded together. Like you start looking at them, it's like, where would you even start with this?
Yeah.
The hatchet.
But there's a Daniel Boone, there's a Mad Annie, and then 2 others.
An
Indian
chiefs.
And then a general. All from like the 1800s.
Yeah.
And Boone is double cheeked up too.
Yeah, Mothman has some cake on him. That was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, oh shit, that guy's got wings. I'm like, oh, that's Mothman's got an ass.
Is it weird that he is facing the river? Like, I feel like he should be faced the other way. Or is that just me?
Well, no, because he's watching the river.
So that's Main Street. So he's facing Main Street. So that way, when you're just casually strolling up and down Main Street,
more people are walking down Main Street than they are. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we saw traffic on Main Street tonight. The guys riding their bikes.
And the Focus that made 3 laps.
Watching us take pictures of your Jeep.
Yeah.
Watching Freddie take pictures. Not Freddie. Watching PJ take pictures of your Jeep. Cole, where can people find you? You're fun.
At roll_Cole 94
on Instagram. God, that's fucking dope.
Hell yeah.
But hold on. He doesn't own any more diesels.
I still have a diesel.
What?
I still have
a diesel heater?
No, he has a TDI that has been in the ground for 4 years.
She's a little rough.
It's been moved on a trailer more than it's ran.
That's fair.
We drove it to Ocean City, and it broke down in Ocean City.
TDIs are so cool. I saw one at work the other day. It's just like, man, where does diesel around me? I don't know. What the hell's idling like that? I'm like, shit, that's a Volkswagen.
Also, I made the news down here.
You did make the news. You're famous.
A reporter had messaged me and asked if they could use my pictures. They talked to Jed, and Jed sent them my way because he liked the pictures that I was taking.
So the reporter showed Jed the picture?
No. The reporter went to Jed and was like, hey, I want to do a thing on this, article on this. Where can I get some pictures? And Jed spit out some names, and mine was one of them because I'd been posting all day, all night, like pretty cool pictures.
Not to toot your own horn.
Not to toot my own horn.
I didn't do any social media. I was too busy not falling asleep and dying.
My dad was keeping up with us.
That's cool.
He was posting, like, as I was sending pictures, he would post.
Yeah, I tried to post a picture pretty much every stop.
Yeah, I think my problem is my phone was so hot because it had been navigating and playing music for 20 hours. Until I restarted it at the reception tonight, I had not gotten a single text message.
That's wild. I didn't have any issue. I've been playing music, uploading.
My wife sent me a Facebook message saying she was trying to call and text me.
Wow.
And I sent her Facebook messages because I'm like, it's just not working. She's like, why isn't your phone taking calls? I restarted it. It's taking calls. Like, it was just working that hard.
Melting down.
The service spottiness was crazy, too. Because, like, you'd have 5 bars, then, like, 2 miles later, gone.
Well, so we had 5 bars at one point. I texted, Tom was driving, so I texted my wife, and I texted his wife. Literally, by the time I hit send, we had no service.
You want to know why I had so many issues?
Because it's not an iPhone.
Because it's an Android.
You want to know how you had so many issues?
I didn't have any issues.
Because you had 4 doors, so you could have an extra passenger that could get sick. Idiot.
Dang.
Where can people find you? Boom, roasted.
Fidget.Fred.
That's it.
I mean, for now.
Are you doing anything on... You took a lot of video. Are you going to do anything on YouTube?
Yeah, I took a video of a time lapse of the whole 24 hours, which is sick. And then,
not to toot my own horn, but it's pretty fucking cool.
And then I put the GoPro on the end of the pressure washer at the car wash and filmed that. That's pretty cool. But I've been leaning into the regular socials more just because they're getting more traction. YouTube's really hard.
YouTube is really hard
to get anywhere. Like, I have a couple thousand followers, but it's like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It takes 10 minutes for a video to go viral. It's insane.
Yeah. And it takes so much less work than a YouTube video too.
Yeah, because like YouTube's, I don't know how many you've uploaded. I know you started doing.
I do weekly. I do weekly uploads on the podcast to YouTube.
But like,
granted, it's just audio with pictures laid over it, but it's still weekly.
So if you're doing like a time lapse and you want to put a section of music on it, like obviously it'd be really tough to film or talk over a time lapse for 6 minutes or whatever. But YouTube has music you can use.
Very strict policies on music.
Right, but the music you can use, it's like maybe 30 different songs. They're all terrible.
Yeah.
You can't use any sort of.
I have a music source for you that's free.
Yeah, but I've tried them before, and sometimes even when you plug whoever made the song or whatever, YouTube doesn't always pick up on it, and it'll mute the whole video.
Yeah. See, it was a Christmas. It wasn't even a Christmas episode. PJ played Bing Crosby "White Christmas" at some point, and I got a message from YouTube. You played like 15 seconds of the song, and I got a message from YouTube saying, "Hey, we're just letting you know it's flagged. The audio is not coming down."
It's crazy.
We were talking over, like, not even 15 seconds of Bing Crosby "White Christmas."
It's all AI now, and like I had like Facebook's. I've been doing more Facebook because you can add, if you're monetized on Facebook, you can add licensed music. So it can be literally any song. It's a couple of them are hit or miss. Like I did one with the Benny Hill theme song, and it got flagged, but that was strictly due to Warner Brothers. But I would say like 95% of music on Facebook, if you're monetized, you can use it and you're not flagged and it doesn't get muted. But if you do a video on Instagram and share it to Facebook, like how you can post to both platforms, Facebook doesn't pick up on the
That's
Instagram
so dumb
side
because
of it.
It's the same damn thing.
I've been posting to Facebook and then sharing it to Instagram from my Facebook, and I haven't had any issues with that because I'm not monetized on Instagram. But if I do a video on Instagram with music, it gets flagged on Facebook's side for being copyright.
Yeah, then you try to upload that same video to YouTube, and
it's even worse. So I just do Facebook and made $5 this weekend.
Hell yeah, brother! It's gas money. One gallon, 1.5 gallons.
2 gallons. That one gas station we stopped had non-ethanol 90.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 something a gallon.
Mike filled up with that.
He's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, on you, brother.
Yeah,
he's also putting 91
premium
in his 2-door. I'm like, dude, you don't need to put premium in your Jeep.
He's like, I wash it out every once in a while with non-ethanol.
Fuck. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
I know a lot of people are very religious about the non-ethanol thing. And
oh yeah, when I get the Camaro up and running, there will be no ethanol.
There's like carbureted stuff.
No, it's an LS. But I just because it's going to sit for so long between running.
Oh yeah.
So to keep the injectors from gumming up and everything else, there's a place in Bearville that sells non-ethanol fuel.
You shouldn't have any issue with 87, but
I've had issues with 87 and the
XJ.
That one, the XJ.
It's because it sits for a year, and then you go out beat the balls off of it.
All right. Well, on that note, it's been a long time since I've had like a full night of sleep, so I'm gonna go do that. Y'all can go do that too. Are we gonna see you in the morning?
Probably.
Are you gonna come get shitty biscuits with us?
Tutors.
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 Biscuit World.
TUDOR.
Yeah, I think it's Biscuit World. Yeah.
It is.
Tutors, computers.
Beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes.
Just like that.
Yep. So we're gonna go get biscuits. Then we're gonna drive 6 hours home. You're gonna drive 8 hours home.
Well, it's 4 and then 2.
So it's the same thing.
A little bit longer because you guys are really only 5.5 from here.
Yeah.
So I'm 4 to my parents where Nate's vehicle is parked, and then 2 to home.
Okay.
And I have about an hour window before I have to pick up Connor.
Oof, that's tight.
So, yeah, I'd like to try and leave a little bit earlier than 8.
Yeah, I do too. I want to get home halfway early, so I can just do absolutely nothing, and waste my life away.
I should have taken off work Tuesday too.
I should have as well.
I'm off Friday.
Especially my wife comes home Tuesday. So.
Are you off Friday?
What's Friday?
Lunar New Year.
No, that's only the school system.
Ha
Ha. All right. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for adventuring with us for 24 hours. That was a hella good time. We should not do that again because it was a good time, but I don't want to do it again.
I'd do it again.
I'd do it again.
Let's go just like regular wheeling. I would do it again. Maybe I'll do it again in like 2 years. I don't want to do it again, like not even next year.
No, I'm ready to do July.
Oh, I'm not. Well, I'm also not going to be here in July. I'm not going to be here for that in July. So.
Are you going to off yourself or?
Wow. No, you want to hear the real story?
All of a sudden it got really dark.
Do you want to hear the real story, Freddie?
Here we go.
I'm going with my wife to Germany so she can see Taylor Swift.
Yikes.
I'm going to be drinking in a pub with one of my other good buddies who's wife is also going to Germany to see Taylor Swift. So we're going to go drink in a pub in fucking Germany somewhere.
They do know she like plays on the East Coast.
It seems like Taylor Swift with a lot of extra steps.
It's like what we did today. Seeing West Virginia with a lot of extra steps.
It actually makes sense. So to see Taylor Swift, I told my sister I would never talk about Taylor Swift on the fucking podcast, and now it's happening. After a great wheeling trip. So what had to happen? To see Taylor Swift in the United States, it's like $2,000 to get a ticket.
No way.
It's ridiculous. Like, she's the most popular artist in the world. It's like $2,000 to get a nosebleed ticket.
So is she comparatively less popular in Germany?
So yes, because the Germans don't speak as much English. So a ticket to see Taylor Swift in Germany was like $300.
No way.
So no way.
What?
No way.
No way.
So
you're gonna say that a plane ticket, hotel,
is
and
the
Taylor
same,
Swift tickets wash.
Same price.
It's
And
the
we
same.
get to go explore Germany.
Yeah, with warm beer. Cool.
I don't fucking know. I'm not a German.
No speed limits.
Yeah, but warm beer.
I don't know anything about Germany. They lost the war.
If you ask them for cold beer, they're gonna fucking kick you out of the bar.
That's fine. I don't drink a lot of beer.
It's the same concept with F1 though, because like a ticket to the Vegas F1 race was insane.
Yeah.
You can either like Canada or I forget what the cheapest overseas race is, but it's the same thing. You can buy a plane ticket, hotel, and the whole 9 yards, and be cheaper than it is for a U.S. F1 race.
But yes, that's where I'll be for the July one if they do it late July. I won't be seeing Taylor Swift, but I will be Taylor Swift adjacent.
Like I'm
Autism adjacent.
Autistic adjacent.
Be hanging out with Kelsey. Be hanging out with Travis Kelsey, drinking beer in Germany. That's her boyfriend.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
He's a
He
football
played
player.
for football?
He played for football. He played for the football team.
Does he do the
football
thing?
team.
Does he do sports?
He played for the good
Sports.
football team. The second one of the top two this year.
Sports.
Have they won the Super Bowl?
That was a hard word for you.
Yeah.
I don't think
words are hard.
they haven't played that one yet.
Oh. I like Super Bowl parties for the food.
What else happens at Super Bowl parties other than food and
The Super Bowl.
commercials?
The football thing. Tim's
Okay.
looking at me like I'm crazy.
This is
We've
the
been
Dirt
talking
Drive
about paradoxes all
podcast.
week.
Please like, subscribe, follow. That was the best thing. Every time someone would be like, "Oh, you're the podcast Jeep," and Freddie would come over the radio, and be like and subscribe.
Don't forget to follow. That's the
Yes, we
Dirt
did end
Drive.
up with a bunch of different people, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are the one doing the podcast."
Every time, Freddie would like and subscribe. Smash the follow button.
Gotta get it out there.
That's all right. They probably thought it was me. Like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
On that note, this has been the Dirt Drive. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back with some more energetic stuff that's less tired.
Bye.